Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to Civil Engineers YouTube channel. Hope everybody will be fine. Today in this video lecture I will guide you for technical terms of plinth beam or top beam, because this is the most important topic and many students they are working on construction site but they don't know about the technical terms of plinth beam or top beam. So therefore watch this video till the end to learn something new related technical terms of plinth beam or top beam, especially its steel reinforcement. Okay, so let's get started. If this video is helpful for you, so you may like this video. Suppose guys, this is plinth beam. Okay, so this is the long section of plinth beam, long section. Okay, and here you can see this is its cross section. Right, X section you can say. Now first of all I will discuss its size. The first term is size of beam. Now here is the very important point. What should be the depth and width of beam for 1 story, 2 story, 3 story? So first of all I will tell you that the depth of beam or the width of beam is depend on the structure load. What is structure load? If for example if we have 1 story, so its structure load is different from this 2 story, from 3 story, etc. So therefore all these things is depend on the structure load. But also we have some rules regulation to keep the depth and width of the beam. Okay, but here we have some special points, so let me discuss with you people. So now guys, remember this is the depth, okay, and this is its width. Remember, for normal residential building, okay, I am not going in detail for the beam depth and width, okay, but just I am guiding you. So the width of the beam for normal residential building should not be less than 9 inches, okay. So the width should not be less than width. Minimum width of the beam should be 6 inches, 9 inches minimum, 9 inches. Okay, or you can say 0.75 feet. It should not be less than this for normal residential building, especially for 1 story or 2 story, from 1 to 2 story. Okay, ground floor plus first floor, so you can keep the width of the beam 9 inches. Now guys, let's discuss its depth. Okay, remember the depth of the beam should not be less than its width. The depth of the beam should not be less than its width. Okay, so these are the rules in IS, ACI, etc. Okay, so therefore the depth of the beam should not be less than, for normal residential building, from ground plus first floor, okay, it should not be less than 12 inches, okay, or 1 feet. It should not be less than, or in centimeter you can say 30 centimeter. It should not be less than this for G plus ground floor plus 1 story. Okay, so the depth should be minimum for G plus 1, I am telling you, okay, 12 inches. So therefore if the width is, for example, 9 inches, so the depth should not be less than 12 inches. So if the width is 12 inches, so the depth should not be less than 16 inches or 14 inches. Like this you can keep the size of the beam, but from yourself you cannot consider what should be the width and depth of the beam, because all these things is depend on the structure load of the building. Okay, now this is the size. Now come to its steel reinforcement. So here you can see this is the other graph. Okay, so here inside we are using stirrups and beam, top beam or bottom beam, and both cases we are using stirrups. Okay, so you can see these are hooks, inside hooks you can see clearly. Okay guys, so here for plinth beam or top beam, try to use maximum steel rods at the bottom, because this is the bottom section, is this section bottom. Okay, this is tension zone. Okay, and the top is compression zone. Remember guys that concrete is strong in compression zone or in compression, but concrete is weak in tension. So therefore we should use maximum steel rods compared to compression zone. So therefore if you are using normally if you see in a village or if there isn't any rules regulation for building construction, so normally people are using for G+1 story, sometime for G+2 story, they are just using 4 steel rods which die about 10 millimeter. So guys, this is wrong. Okay, so don't destroy your building and don't waste your time and money. Okay, so therefore be careful with steel structure design, because a plinth beam is very important for the building, and also top beam is also important to resist the cracks, etc. Okay, so now guys, use minimum, okay, for G+1 or for ground floor, minimum use 3 steel rods at the bottom. Minimum use 3 steel rods at the bottom and 2 at the top. That's why, because as I told you that concrete is weak in tension, so therefore in tension zone you should use maximum steel rods compared to the top, and I used here 2. But for G+1 story, okay, so you should use minimum 4 steel rods. So the 4 should be used at the bottom and 2 at the top, right? But like this, if you are going to the G+2 story, 3 story, so there we will increase the steel rod. Okay, for that we will do this proper design, steel structure design. Okay, so you can also add the extra rods here, steel rods, right? But here the die of steel should not be less than, so the second term is steel reinforcement. Okay, so guys, the die of bottom bars should not be less than 12 mm. So this is very important. But you can decrease the die of upper portion. Maybe you can use 10 mm. But the bottom bars dia should be maximum compared to the upper portion dia. Okay. Now guys, here one thing other. Remember, the longitudinal bars, as you can see, you can say these are longitudinal bars. So sometime, but not sometime, it's important to resist shear stresses. Okay. So here guys, you can see this is one column and this is other column. Means these are supports, so these are columns. Okay, this is also column. As you can see, this is beam. Remember guys, here these two steel rods. Okay, so we can make a structure, the bent up bar structure, same like this. Here you can see like this. These 2 steel rods should be up at the end of the support, because we have maximum shear stresses at the end of the support to resist cracks, to avoid cracks. Okay, so we should use crank bar or bent up bar, you can say. And also remember guys, here we can also use the cut piece method, or extra bars we can provide here with the distance of L/4. So this length should be L/4. Remember what is L? L is the clear span of this one. So this is L. So now the length should be divided by 4. So if you get any value, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, anything, okay, or 1 meter, so it should be the length of crank bar. So this is very important to know about this. Okay. Now guys, when we bend the bar like this, so for example, here we have 2 sections guys. Okay. Here let me show you the section AA section. So this is AA section. So this is section AA. Why? Because we have here AA section. That's why, because here the steel rod at the bottom. So we will use all the steel rods at the bottom here, 4 steel rods. But when we come to this point, so this is, guys, you can see this one. Okay, so this is BB section. Okay, so let me make a BB section for this. So the BB section, you will see these 2 steel rods are going to the upward side because we bent at the end of the support. So in that case, guys, you can see at the top we will see 4 steel rods, at the bottom we will see 2 steel rods in this case. Okay, so now you can see, guys, this is stirrup. So in that case, when we up the bar like this, okay, so in that case bend the bar, so we will see 4 steel rods and 2 at the bottom in this case. Okay, so guys, this is bent up bar. Now, guys, here what should be the diameter of steel rod for the stirrup? So the stirrup diameter for normal residential building, just for ground floor, we should not use less than this stirrup, not less than 6 mm. Okay, but I recommend you that the stirrup dia should not be less than .8 millimeter in the case of G plus 1 story. Okay, you can use normally 8 millimeter die of steel rod. Now, guys, when you come here, so these are some points here in steel reinforcement. The second one is, guys, the hooks. You can see these hooks. So the hooks should be bent hooks. Bend with 135 degree, not on 90 degree. So this is wrong, this is right. As you can see, guys, the hooks are bent with 135 degree, but in some of cases you can see they are just making same like this. So this is 90. So this is wrong. It cannot resist with earthquake. So this is important. Now the third point is, guys, here length of hooks should be 3 inches. So this length of hooks should not be less than 3 inches. Try to keep this length 3 inches. Okay, so guys, these are steel reinforcement. Now, guys, when you come to its concrete cover, okay, the third number is concrete cover. So, guys, this concrete cover, okay, this concrete cover should not be less than 1.5 inches. Okay, or you can keep about 4 centimeter. So concrete cover should be 1.5 inches, right? So this is also concrete cover for this. And here now, when you use when you want to when you have a problem in lapping length, okay, so the lapping length, the fourth one is lapping length. Okay, so the lapping length should be with 50 D, where D is die of rod. For example, if this is 12 mm, so 12 multiply 50, then you will get the length of lapping. Then one steel rod should be overlapped with the other one. So guys, these are some important technical terms for plinth beam and also for top beam. Hope this video can help you. Thanks for watching. See you in next video. Goodbye.